Hello guys, warm welcome to one and all, and this is a part 2 of web technologies. Before I'm getting started with the today's session, let us first conclude what we have learned in the last session, and after that we'll continue the today's session. Okay, the first thing is, in yesterday's session we have been learned about a lot of things. Hope everyone is remembered that. So what we have learned, just quickly we will revise those things, and after that we will continue from the yesterday's part. The first important thing in application development model, as a developer you have to know about what is the meaning of application first of all, and what are the varieties of application is used by the people presented in the different parts of the world. So if I talk about an application is set of programs which altogether works as a single unit, that you can call it as an application. The best example, you can name it any application which is using in the real world right now. Let's say Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Yahoo, whatever you can name it, all these comes under an applications, right. So what are the varieties of applications? What are the categories of applications we have? The first category of applications are desktop application, and second category of applications are web application, and third category of applications are mobile applications. If I specifically talk about a desktop applications, what is the limitations for that? The limitations of desktop applications are the applications of desktop can be accessed within a single machine, I mean to say single computer you can call it as, and sometimes these applications also runs in a single network. I mean to say it's like a group of computers which has to be in single place, that we basically call it as a network, right. So nothing but if application which is runs in that locality, in that area, then we can call it as a desktop applications. Nothing but if you want to try to access this application outside your range, nothing but if you want to access outside the network, you can't able to access them. Where if you want to access that application different parts of the world, any person, it doesn't matter, irrespective of location, irrespective of culture, whatever it is, then still you want to access that application, then what we supposed to do is, right. The first important thing you need to remember that if you want to access in a such cases, you need to write an application in applications called web, right. So if that web application, I mean if you want to access that in a different parts, web application will help you in that manner, right. What other applications limitations are? The applications of web, there is no limitation, there is no culture, there is no language, there is no locality, nothing but if you deploy that application into a remote server, then you can access that application from any part of the world. Just imagine an application called Facebook. You don't know where that application is deployed, but you are using from India, you are using from Canada, you are using from United States of America, nothing but any parts of the world you are using that application. Nothing but this is a widely accessed applications. But I can say this application, if you want to run on your electronic devices, something like a computer, something like mobile device, something like laptop, desktop or tabular device, whatever you name it, all these applications required a minimal internet connection. So that these applications are called as internet, not intranet. There are the two different words which confuse you a lot. One is intranet, second one is internet. Intranet applications are desktop, intranet applications are desktop application, internet applications are web applications. Am I very clear now? So let's see what we supposed to learn in web technologies, what kind of web application we gonna build on the entire series of the I mean in these videos, right. So in this, the base agenda of this series is you need to learn some kind of web technology, right. Nothing but you need to develop an applications of web with using of basic of what I can call it as basic technologies, right. So I'll name these three technologies, please note it down. These are the technologies we're gonna work it from current day onwards. The first one is, it's called it as HTML, second one is CSS, and third one is JavaScript. All right. If you have more time to discuss about application building, then we'll go to the next level where you can learn about jQuery. You can also learn about HTML5 and CSS3. Yes, am I very clear now? Let's get start with our basic presentation now. Okay, so let's see the screen once you can understand what is a web application is all about. All right. So as we have already discussed this one, if you does not note down these points, please guys note it down so that it will be helpful for your academics as well as your interviews. All right. So I'm reading the sentence again. A web application or web app is an application program that is stored on a remote server and delivered that into a different computers through a internet. Nothing but it's through internet, and that can be accessed in interfaces called browsers. I told you that yesterday there are very important thing you guys need to remember about the browser part, right? So the browsers, in the sense, any browser you name it, let's say Chrome, let's say Firefox, let's say Opera, whatever you name it, all this comes under browser softwares, right? Nothing but if you want to access any web application, you need to have these browsers on your devices. Okay. And second important thing you need to remember is web applications are usually coded with a browser based application or browser support languages such as JavaScript, HTML, or these are the languages or relays on a browser, so that it is very easy to execute them. That is what I am trying to talk about in the current day session. So I am trying to talk about what is the meaning of HTML, where you can use this HTML, right? And what kind of HTML is all about, and what is the importance of CSS to it, and what is the importance of JavaScript to it, correct? So we'll try to build that applications today, correct? Right. Let's see one more thing. This is what is the standalone application. This is what we already discussed. All right. So if you doesn't know the points, please note it down these points, guys. All right. There are a vast number of different architectures for standalone applications, same as can be quite similar to web hosted application, other than a different, nothing but it's similar to a web application, but it's not web app, but it can be accessed only in single place. Okay. The programmer has a full control within the capacities of operating system, supporting of broad selection of UI interfaces and all, because it can be installed only on single device, right? That is a major reason, right? The business layer and data layer may be resides on the same computer. Please make this point as highlighted. We're going to discuss about what is the mean of business logic layer, and we need to also discuss about data layer in future classes, because these are the very important layers in architectures of standalone, or else you can make it as architectures of web. In both cases, these are very important things. All right. If one or more remote servers are involved in the solution, may different remote communication protocols can be required. That is the security part, that is also we will discuss in later sessions. There is no requirement to use of HTTP. Instead of HTTP, you can use TCP or IP. Okay. So yesterday I am trying to talk about some kind of architecture called web architecture. All right. In web architecture, we used to discuss about this, right? Right. We used to discuss about this kind of architecture, right? So if you just look at here in the last day session, I am trying to discuss about this one, right? So this is your web server, right, which can be located any part of the world, and these are the clients can be located any part of the world, right? So if you want to access this application, you require some internet connection, right? What will happen is when a client is requested to it, right, it will be requested to the web server, and also when it is requested, when the request is done, your client has to be respond to the your server has to be responded to your client. How this communication has to happen, that is also very important thing, right? As I'm telling you that it is one thing and this is another thing. There are the two things is happening, right? The first one I am trying to talk about, it's a request, right? Right. And second, what I am trying to talk about, I'm a response, right? Is it directly done or else any mediator is required, or any other third person support is required? 100% guys, this request and response will not directly happen with a directly computer to computer, right? Computer has been designed with some set of rules, right? It designed with some set of rules, and these rules we usually call it as a protocols, right? Hope you remember this, right? You know how, you at least you have heard about what is the meaning of maybe you have heard about at least protocol, right? What is the internal protocol contains? For example, I'll tell you. Every college have some protocol, right? Correct? So nothing but the protocol has to be start from early morning 9 o'clock till evening 4 o'clock. This is what a protocol. Nothing but within the protocol there are number of rules will be defined by your college management. Am I correct? Right? Are you following me? If I say protocol, what is the mean of protocol? It's pretty simple job, right? For example, you imagine your college. Your college also have some protocols, correct? So the college has to be start by morning 9 o'clock. It has to be till evening 4 o'clock, correct? This is one thing you need to have this. Within this, between the time of 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., there are number of set of rules which is defined by your management, correct? So nothing but morning 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock you have to attend one session, 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock you need to attend another session, and 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock some programmatical lab, or whatever you name it, right? So that will be defined by entire college management. Similar way, your computer also designed in such a way that it has to have some set of rules, right? These rules we basically call it as a protocols. The best example for the protocols are, you may see the protocols called HTTP. When you open your browser in your mobile, let's say www.facebook.com, when you type it and enter, if you observe carefully, before www. You have, if you see before that, you will see some name called HTTP or some name called HTTPS. Have you seen that? Hope everyone can see that, because as in current generation is everything is depends on your mobiles, correct? So nothing but when you requested for Facebook, when you requested for Twitter, whatever you name it, so all these applications required some set of rules. That rules we basically call it as protocols. We have a different protocols in the market. Let's see what are the protocols we have. Okay, the first protocol which is used by us, that is, please, the first protocol is HTTP, second protocol is HTTPS, third protocol is FTP, right? Fourth protocol is TCP or IP, right? There is a protocol called SMTP. Let's see, like this we have a number of protocols in the market, but as you require at least these protocols to be done as you need to know compulsory these protocols, right? So what are the protocols? Let's see once again. Protocol name is HTTP, followed by HTTPS, followed by FTP, followed by TCP or IP, and followed by SMTP, correct? So what is HTTP here? What is the full name of it, right? You can just see that the full name of your HTTP is, right? I'll share you one more file with you. Let's see in detail about these names. Please do remember these names, because these are the names will helpful. I mean, these are the full names will helpful when you are attending an interview. What is the full name for HTTP? Hypertext Transfer Protocol, right? Next, what is the next protocol we have? HTTPS, right? It is very similar. You just observe here, it is 4 characters, it is 5 character, only one character is extra here. This you can call it as security. The remaining is same, hypertext okay, both are same, right? where these two protocols is used mostly. These two protocols are used mostly for web, that is request and response from the server, right. So, you request it, that is also it goes through HTTP. When you respond it that is also will comes from this, right. Hope you remember, hope you note down these 2 points. If not, guys, please note it down. This will be very helpful for you when you attending an interviews on web technologies. Okay, whenever you are trying to attend the interviews on web technologies, these are the full names which will help you to get through an interview directly. All right. So, now what is the next protocol we have? Next protocol is FTP, right. This FTP full name is okay. The next protocol name is FTP. The name of, we can call it as file transfer protocol. So, what is this protocol do is, where we can see the exactly implementation of this FTP protocol is. It is pretty simple. Whatever the softwares we have for downloading from web, okay. For example, you are trying to download something from a web application, or something you are trying to download, let us say a PDF file, okay. Let us say your college academic record, right. So, if you want to download as a file, alright, so you may be download as a PDF file, you may download as Word file, you may download as some other, alright. In all these cases, for example, the best example I will tell you, hope everyone knows a torrents website, right. Torrents like uTorrent or whatever the torrents you can use. This torrents website, what it will do is, it is trying to download the file from a respective server, right. So, internally what kind of protocol they used to implement it? It is pretty simple. They used to implement a FTP internally of that application. Am I very clear? I am repeating the sentence again. FTP protocol is mostly involved in transferring the files between one machine to another machine, correct. So, for example, I have a file which is stored on my server computer, right. For example, your college website. In your college website, there is a tab called downloading your academic record. Let us say I am downloading that. It is going to download in a format of PDF, or it may be download as a Word document, or it may be download as some other, correct. So, whenever you are trying to download in that manner, internally that application required FTP protocol. It is required to transfer the file, because server is one computer, client is another computer, right. So, if you want to exchange the data, or if you want to exchange the limit, then we have to go for FTP protocol is, right. Please do remember this, FTP stands for file transfer protocol. It is best thing we can use in any torrents website, okay. What is the next protocol we have? A TCP, alright. So, next protocol I can say that it is a TCP protocol, right. So, what is this one? It is something call it as a transmission control protocol, alright. So, what is this transmission control protocol do? It is pretty simple. Where you can use this? It is pretty simple. You open your network in your local machine, alright. So, I am going to show you this, right. Where is this TCP presented directly on your local computer, right. Open your network in your local machine. Hope you can see this, right. Now, let us go to some network issues, internet, right. So, you can just go for network sharing centers, right. So, let us see, go for adaptive settings. Then here, if your machine is connected to internet, let us open this properties, right. Then you can see that there is a two kind of protocols we have here. One is a 4-digit TCP4, one is another one 6th one, nothing but these two are works in a similar way, but right now we are just right now the working unit is 4th version of TCP/IP, and it does not have a 6th digit. It is going to come in future days because it is very secure as compared to this 4th version. And also you need to see that, for example, if I open this properties of this, it required 4 decimal numbers to be connected to that, right? How many numbers you required? You required 4 different decimal numbers here. In a similar way, if you go for 6th generation of your protocol, you do have a 6, right? Instead of 4, how many you need to write here? You need to write 6 digits here, right? So nothing but whenever you want to connect it to any network, you need to know about these 4 protocols. Nothing but transmission control protocol is a protocol which is used in every computer to transfer and to control the application. And very important thing, we have to know about something. TCP and IP is correlated. It's something called as internet protocol, right? So this internet protocol is also one of the option, which is again same. So if you want to know about, for example, my computer is connected with the internet. Let's say, imagine that my computer is connected to some internet. So I want to know that which IP is assigned by in the network, or which IP is assigned by the provider, right? It is pretty simple job. Open the command prompt of your application. Hope everyone knows how to open the command prompt. Go to run and type it as CMD. You can able to see this window on your desktop, correct? Now if I type ipconfig, right, imagine that my application or my machine is connected to some network. This is my local IP address. Let's see, this local IP address is how much? 172.23.188.33 is the IP address for your machines, right? So these are the very important things or very important terms which you have to remember in the terminology of web, because they may ask you what is the meaning of internet protocol, how you can check that internet protocol is. It's pretty simple job. Open your commands prompt of any, maybe for example, if you are using Windows, open your commands prompt, right, type ipconfig without spaces, just hit on enter. It is going to show you the IP address of your machine. For example, you may use Linux machine, or you may use Ubuntu machine, you may use Debian machine, or some other Red Hat versions of operating system. Then you need to open the terminal. As the Windows will have a command prompt, Linux systems will have a terminal. Open the terminal, type something called ifconfig, ifconfig, hit on enter. It is going to show you the IP address which is assigned to your machines. Am I very clear? I am repeating once again. How do you check IP address of Windows machines as well as Linux machines? If you want to test it, right, if you want to test it on your Windows devices, it is pretty simple. Open the command prompt, type something called ipconfig, hit on enter. It is going to show you the IP address of your Windows operating system. For example, if you are using Linux operating system, then it is pretty simple. Open the terminal of Linux operating system, or anything, maybe Ubuntu, maybe Linux, maybe CentOS, or maybe something. Type something called ifconfig, hit on enter. It is going to show you the IP address of your Linux machines, right? And last one protocol we have, that is something called SMTP, right? It stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. This is one of the very important protocol in mail communication. Nothing but you may use Gmail, you may use Yahoo, you may use Live, or whatever you name it. All this will have something called SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. This is mostly used in mailing services. Whenever you want to mail it, whenever you want to receive an email, all this transaction is going to happen on SMTP protocol, correct? So these are the very important things which you have to remember always whenever you are attending an interviews on web technologies. Then what how you develop this web application, how you correlate this web application with this kind of protocols, correct? That is also we need to know compulsory. Now, tomorrow's session when we start, we have to start with basics of web technology, that is HTML, CSS along with JavaScript. Alright. So, by this time you guys compulsory remember all these words by the time when tomorrow's get start. Thank you so much be a part of this session. By the way, I am Anil Kumar, the trainer of APSSDC.